And we're back with another college edition of Breaking Bats. Joining us today is Matt Archibald, pitcher from the Naval Academy. Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time. I know you guys are so busy with both being a student athlete and a serviceman. How's that combination been so far?
Um, it's awesome. There's a lot of back and forth kind of mentally when you're on the yard. It's what they refer to as campus here. There's a lot of uh, not pressure. I'd just say like eyes on you being a freshman because you're still, trying to balance between both worlds. You went from being a civilian to now a part of the military. And there's always little things that you slip up on or kind of just revert back to, and they're like, no, you can't do that. This is the way we're supposed to do it. This is the way you're going to do it. If you don't like it, suck it up.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Let's do some push-ups. And it's fun. It's what you signed up for. So
Is there like any crazy things that you've had taken a while to get adjusted to? I will say I don't see you with the buzz cut. I was kind of expecting everything to be gone.
yeah, that's over the summer before you get here. With Bleep Summer, they get you down to practically bald. And you get, I think it was 3 haircuts. So like you'd think it's kind of coming back. You're like, okay, cool. And then they're
Yeah.
like, nope, let's go get another one. But once you're in the school year, you can you just have to keep the back and the side short. The top, you can I think it's 4 inches is the longest or something like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's not too bad once you make it through the summer.
Yeah, but okay. So then also, like, what do you see as the biggest adjustment getting onto campus now that you're a full-time serviceman and not a civilian anymore?
Biggest adjustment would be, I'd say when you leave here and go back, like when you walk around downtown Annapolis, you're in your full uniform and you just see a bunch of tourists or just people that live here, and you just attract eyes and
Yeah.
something that you're not really used to, and you kind of feel like you're supposed to project what this country is about and what just how strong, and just basically just project a strong image, and you just kind of carry yourself with, they call it professionalism here, and uh just yeah, just look good, feel good, represent.
Yeah, you gotta showing out, man. You're representing all of us here.
Hmm.
So get into the baseball a little bit. Can you talk about a little about your recruiting process, kind of how you ended up in Navy?
It was, yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting story. Going into my senior year, I had a few offers that I was considering, and I decided about halfway through my senior season I was going to go to Indiana University and
Hmm.
with a walk-on spot. And then Coach Kane, who is our recruiting coordinator and outfield coach here, got a random email from him one day, basically saying they're looking for one more right-handed pitcher, and I was like, I mean, yeah, you can come out and watch. Um, Came out and watched me. I I did okay, nothing crazy, nothing bad, and they were kind of like, thanks but no thanks, whatever. Then the next week, I have a phenomenal game. I think I went 5 innings, 12 strikeouts, sitting 90. Got posted all over Twitter, and I sent the post to him, and he was like, "Well, maybe let's get another look." And they came out the next week against the number one team in the state, which is Archbishop Spalding,
Yeah.
and I threw 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, 90-91, and then next day went on the visit, committed the day after. So
It always happens
it
so quick.
kind of just fell into my lap senior season, and I'm very glad it did.
Yeah. And you're from Maryland, right? Are you close to Annapolis?
I'm about an hour away. Grew up in
Okay.
California, moved to Maryland.
When did you move there?
About end of 2015, 2016.
Oh, so I guess probably a little bit before high school for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so did you always know that I guess the Navy thing kind of came up late, but that you wanted to go into the Army, into the armed forces?
Uh, it's kind of something that as a kid I always kind of thought of or dreamed of, and I've always held huge respect for service members. A bunch of my family, not necessarily military, but like cops, firefighters, and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And it's always something I thought of, but I always kind of was looking to play baseball in college. So when I could bring both of those together, I just jumped right on it and haven't looked back.
Yeah, seems like a pretty perfect opportunity to do both.
Yeah,
And for our listeners who don't know, you have a 5 years of active duty commitment afterwards, right?
correct.
Yeah. So do you know, or I don't know, you're probably early on in the process, but like what kind of serviceman you want to be, like where, I have no idea how it works, but like which position you wanted to be in?
There's a lot of options coming out of here. The two that are most appealing to me is either Navy pilot, which is I can fly jets, helicopters, anything that's flying. I think that would be awesome. Or a part of me wants to join the Marine Corps and just kind of join that brotherhood because it does look very appealing and it's kind of like sounds kind of like cringy but like manly, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very very like hoorah type, you know, just a bunch of bad to the bone guys that are ready to go in and do whatever like the country needs.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like it's definitely hoorah, but there's something also kind of cool about having that like you're with your brothers, that band, like that team aspect that
Yeah.
I mean, being baseball players that we have in the locker room in the dugout, and kind of don't always get that in your post baseball career. So
Yeah.
definitely would be something cool to do. So then also, how was life kind of at Navy? I guess different as a student athlete versus being just a normal. It's not cadet, right? Because that's the Army.
They're called midshipmen here.
Midshipman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being a student athlete here has a lot of perks. It also has some cons to it. The perks are mainly being a freshman. Plebe duties involve waking up earlier, going to morning workouts at 5:30 in the morning. I don't have to do that due to sports and stuff like that. There's also other things that like different briefs or things you have to report to that athletes during that time are lifting or practicing. So in that sense, I get out of some stuff that may not be the most fun or exciting things. But after school ends at 3:20, I'm going to the field and not getting back till around 7:38, whereas which gives me a lot less time to do schoolwork. Where they're getting out at 3:20 and they have the rest of the day to do whatever they want. So it's kind of a trade-off for academics and sleep, I guess.
Yeah. It's not too different than other student athletes there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get to this later, but since we're on the topic, do you think you could just walk me through a couple, like what's your typical day? What's a day in the life of a midshipman baseball player?
I'd say wake up around 6:20, 6:30 in the morning. Then you head out for what's called chow calls it's something that a freshman has to do, which is where 15 minutes before morning formation, you're screaming in the hallways, basically saying that there's 15 minutes until morning formation, which
like
is essentially
in the dorm hallways, just up and down.
Yes.
Oh man, there's no bugle to do that for you.
No. It's there to suck. That's just a part of it. And at 7:00 in the morning, everyone in your company, which is about 160 people, line up into their 4 platoons, and they take basically attendance. And then after that, you go to breakfast. Someone kind of talks at the middle of our big cafeteria at 7:15. Then you sit down, eat, head off to class, which starts at 7:55. Then you have first 4 periods, which as a regular freshman, you got your English, calculus, chemistry, sea navigation, leadership.
There's the Navy one right there.
Yeah, we got to take swim, boxing, wrestling. What else? Handful of other topics. But you got your first 4 periods, and you got a nice hour and a half break with lunch, and then that's also when teams can lift or practice. Then you have 5th and 6th period, which end at 3:20. Head to practice. Finish around 7:38. Head back, dinner, homework, sleep, repeat.
It sounds like a full day.
Yeah.
We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Breaking Bats podcast, the original Fudge Kitchen. It is a staple of the Jersey Shore with 6 locations in Cape May, Wildwood, North Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in-store guaranteed a delicious product, so stop by and let them know that Not For Long Media and Breaking Bats sent you. Check them out online at fudgekitchens.com as they are shipping fudge and sweet treats all across the country. Now back to the episode.
All right, so let's transition a little bit to the baseball of it all. I know you guys have had a pretty good year so far, right? You're 17-11 now.
Yeah, I believe we're first in the Patriot League as well.
It's pretty nice. What was the kind of like this? What would like the expectations going into this year? Like, what would be a successful season for the Navy get?
I honestly didn't really know exactly how it went all the way last year. But we have a new coach this year. Coach Chuck Ristano. He came from Florida State and before that Notre Dame. So new head honcho. He's all I've known here, and I love him. I think he's a great leader. He brings us together. All the upperclassmen love him, and I think from what I've heard from upperclassmen, the team is much tighter this year, and just much closer. And everyone's kind of picking each other up when others aren't performing at their best, and it's a well-oiled machine right now. I'd say we have had some serious injuries. We've had, I think, 4 pitchers with season-ending injuries, one being myself, and then one of our outfielders just got surgery on his wrist. Just random stuff, and it's been a lot of speed bumps in the road, but like I said, we've had a lot of guys just picking each other up, and we're moving along just fine.
Well, next man up mentality, sure.
Yeah.
So you said you're out for the season?
Correct.
What's the injury?
I have a lower back injury. There's essentially like a separation in my vertebrae, which was annoying to find out. I played through it in the fall. It just hurt a lot. I thought it was some kind of muscle thing.
Yeah.
Did very well, but then it was like, okay, let's get some x-rays over Christmas break, and they were like, you got to stop.
So what's the plan with that for you? Like, are you out for next year too, or is it something you can come like rehab surgery?
I'm supposed to be all cleared in June, so next season should be all good.
So perfectly in time for the season to end.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so also I know you guys have played a couple of these games already, but I want to know, is it a little different when you go up to West Point or out to Colorado to face the other service academies, Army and Air Force?
Yeah, so Air Force we played them down in Kinston, North Carolina at the Freedom Classic is what they call it every year. And those 3 games were, they were completely out of the ordinary for me as being a freshman, but the upper class look forward to it every year. It's a huge deal. A lot of the stands and the fans are retired veterans, and there's a huge ceremony before like each game, flyover, and it's just like a big community type of thing. It's like we're enemies now, but after, like, we're a team regardless. Yeah. So, and then we hosted West Point here, and for a 2-game doubleheader, and that was awesome because we took the first one, ended up losing the second one, but I think in our past 4 years we're 1-9 against Army. So
damn.
They've had some legit seniors. I think graduate last year. So taking one of the 2 was big, and we end the season with a 3-game series at their place. So that'll be big.
Those games like feel a little bit different than the other games. I know like normally rivalry conference games do feel different, but those especially being the big rivals.
It's hard not to look at the elephant in the room there. I'd say I haven't seen energy in the dugout like that all year, especially against Army. We were just all like firing on all cylinders. Energy was high. Somebody would make like the most simple routine play and we would explode. It It was just a great environment. The whole community comes out. And it's just like let's see who's got it this year type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, just from the outsider's point of view, I mean, obviously I watch the Army-Navy football game every year, but you don't really hear about that same rivalry in other sports. But you got to, as my perspective, at least, it seems like it'd be the same. I mean, I would definitely be circling that game on my calendar if I were you.
Yeah, even if it's not like advertised as much on like social media as much as Army-Navy football, no matter what team it is, every athlete here feels the exact same about it. So,
yeah. Is there like a big community among the athletes at Navy?
I wouldn't. Yes and no. There's I mean, we all kind of have to deal with the same academic / athletic struggles and stuff like that. So yeah. A lot of us help each other out with school. The upper class help us when we're traveling, I bet, because they've all taken the same classes, and there is kind of that community. But every team also does kind of stick to their own in a sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, listen, man, this has been great. We're just gonna finish up. I'm gonna hit you with a couple quick shots, and I want you to give me your favorite, your best fast dance. That makes sense.
Sounds good.
All right. So first, would you rather be a closer or a starter?
Starter.
And what's your best memory as a hitter? And going back through your youth.
Oh, my entire senior year of high school, I think I hit 500 with 7 bombs, like 25 doubles. It was like the ball was a beach ball my senior year.
Yeah, you didn't want to. Did you ever get any looks about trying to be two-way, or were you just pitcher all the way?
When I was getting recruited here, they did ask me about two-weighing here, and I was all for it. But I had to do a prep year at what do they call it? It's like a preparatory academy type thing. Yeah. And I hit there, and it just wasn't the same. So that kind of fell off, but my pitching just got better. So I was like, I'll just stick to what I know I'm good at.
Yeah, I will say, at least among my college teammates, the guys who wanted to be or had the opportunity to be two ways or were at one point, I think they always felt like they had the air about them. Like, oh, I could still hit if I wanted to and hop in.
Oh, yeah. I talk a lot about that.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. Circle, split, or straight changeup?
It's circle.
Circle?
Yeah.
Got you. Plyos, yes or no?
No.
No?
Not a plyo guy.
Really?
I've fooled around with them in my youth around sophomore, junior year, and shortly followed like a little shoulder tweak / injury, and I was like, I don't want to touch these again.
Yeah, I had a teammate of mine in high school who wasn't even a pitcher. He did plyos for a little bit, and then had Tommy John. He needed Tommy John surgery right before his spring senior year. After that, I've been anti-plyos, but all pitchers I hear are very pro. So
I think I'm the only guy on the team.
Well, stand your ground, man.
Yeah.
All right, ice bath or sauna?
Ice bath. I just got out of one before this.
Classic. I miss ice baths.
Yeah.
Wilson, Rawlings, or Mizuno?
Rawlings.
Good, man. That's the right answer. I agree.
Yeah.
What is the craziest superstition that you've ever had or you've seen a teammate have?
For me, on game day, I have to listen to this one song before I pitch. It's called Lights by Journey. It's a song that me and my dad listened to growing up, and it gives me chills every time I listen to it. And if I don't listen to that song, I'm like, I can't.
Like, it feels wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That's as far as superstitions go. That's a pretty healthy one. We were talking to a guy from Delaware, and he says one of his teammates used to eat gravel when he was in a slump.
Okay, yeah. When I was younger, I used to worry about if I put my right sock on before my left, and I pitched better when I put my left sock on first. But I got out of that, thank God. But
yeah, you can overanalysis. Us baseball players, man, we're a superstitious breed. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Okay. 2 more. Well, you already told me your pregame playlist, so I'm gonna assume that's a song. But what's your go-to pregame meal?
Pregame
and then
meal?
playlist also.
Pregame meal, I like something light, kind of like peanut butter and banana. Maybe some like a bagel with peanut butter and banana on it. And then just kind of let that sit. Maybe some fruit, but nothing crazy. I like to feel lighter on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the playlist, when I'm like going to the field, it'll be rap or something like upbeat, maybe some Michael Jackson, who knows. But when I'm actually throwing, I like slower songs like Elton John, Billy Joel, Journey, just like old 80s music, 70s music that I listened to growing up as a kid, and everything just feels like almost like a symphony when it's all working in motion.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, like kind of a classical symphony. Everything's working together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then a last one here. Who's the favorite player that you emulated growing up or to look for, or, you're in a slump or something? Who are you watching to kind of study their mechanics?
When I used to hit, it was Torrey Hunter and Mike Trout on the Angels. Those were my two big guys growing up. And then
good ones right there.
And then with pitching, also an Angels guy, Nolan Ryan. My dad was a huge Nolan Ryan guy. Made us watch his instructional videos as kids, and that's just always been the guy. My brother's name is Ryan because of him. So, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you got a busy schedule. We'll be following you guys this year. Go Midshipman, and I hope you come back healthy and ready to go this summer.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me.